Well, our post-game thoughts were pretty accurate from the game last Saturday night. Obviously, Kendall played very well. Brandon Whedon got better as the game progressed. I thought he had a few jitters in the first couple series. Offensive line played okay. Defensively, we tackled well. I'm not sure that they had skill players quite like we're going to go against this week that could make you miss in space. Special teams, we have to get a lot better. But overall, it was a good game. I was pleased with the very low number of penalties that incurred against us, or that we brought on ourselves, either way you want to put it. So it was a good game for us, but looking forward to this week, a week of preparation. Troy has got a lot of team speed and fast tempo offense, very similar to ours. Defense is zone blitzing style, and not much different from what we've seen from in years past. So we'll have to have a great week of preparation for Saturday night's game.
Mike, what's the word on Jarka and Donaldson? Do you know?
I don't think Jarka will play. I think Donaldson will be back practicing this week.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on week one and no turnovers and 4 penalties? That seems pretty impressive.
Well, I was pleased with the penalties. We put the ball on the ground a couple times, and we recovered it. Both of our young tailbacks. It's very important they learn to take care of the football. But and I said this after the game, I'm not sure I would have predicted that many yards rushing, and I'm not sure I would have predicted no turnovers and essentially only one procedure penalty. So, knock on wood, we need to continue to work hard and eliminate or continue to eliminate and keep those penalties and turnovers at a minimum. It gives you a great chance to win.
Coach, you talk about team speed. For the next couple of weeks, you guys go against a couple fast teams. Do you feel like your secondary played good enough in their first week against somebody else wanting to throw it around?
We need to improve. There were some areas that our coaches had concerns with during the game, and obviously they identified those and saw it on Sunday and confirmed from watching tape. And we'll work on that this week to get better. We have some maturity at the safety spot, but we're still somewhat inexperienced at the corner position. Broderick's basically played one game last year, and then working some of those other guys in that are young. But they'll continue to improve each week. But we're not the finished product there by any means.
As far as the offense goes, obviously a very good start, but could you imagine it was going to be that good of a start for that unit?
No, I wouldn't have thought we would have been able to run that many yards and accumulate that many points in a short amount of time. But I was pleased. And again, I would only caution everybody that we're going to play more speed as we go on through the year. And I hope the best for Paul and Washington State. But, we were able to expose them in space some. And we'll have a greater challenge this week.
Mike, did you and Kristen go out afterwards like you normally have?
Well, we went out over here on this side and everybody was gone. And so we went over on this side and everybody was gone because the television show, we didn't leave here till 11:46. So we went down to Shortcakes to get something to eat, and it was full. We couldn't find a parking spot, so we went home. And unfortunately, our kids were still up. So it was a little different for us, but we're going to go back on this side this week and see if we can find some tailgaters. We've had a hard time finding people at midnight, which is understandable. I'm sure I know where to find everybody, but I'm not sure that Chris and I have enough energy to go to those locations.
Mike, when you hired Dana Holgerson, could you have imagined that you would use a 2 fullback offense like you did in his first game as your coordinator?
Well, I researched him a little bit more than what people I think gave me credit for. I didn't really talk much about it, but made a few phone calls and did some research on him and what his thoughts are, and the conversations that he and I had during the hiring process were very minimal. But I was told by enough people that he's not necessarily interested in statistics and throwing the football. He's interested in scoring points and ultimately winning games. And I listened to the conversations that went on during the game on the headset, and I was pleased with the comments and suggestions being made that, it didn't take a genius to figure out that they had a problem tackling Kendall. And so we will give him the ball and let him do whatever he needs to do in order to give us the best chance to win. So I think that he's interested in scoring points and winning games more so than just running up statistics.
Is it amusing that others then outside football are having this much fun and noticing that much what was successful in the first game?
I'm going to plead a little bit of ignorance here. I'm not sure what everybody's doing. I haven't paid much attention to it, but are you talking about the rushing yards?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a good topic. It gives us something to write about and talk about, but we want to be as balanced as possible, and I would say at the end of the year we'll probably be more pass than rush. But one thing that has been consistent in what we've said is that Kendall needs to touch the ball. Justin Blackman needs to touch the ball. Guys that can make big plays need to touch the football somehow. And he had, was it 20, how many touches did Kendall have in the first half? 23? Is that correct? I think rushing and catching, anybody know? Something like that. Kevin, you should know that. I think it was over 20 in the first half. And so that's a lot of touches for one player. But he needs to touch the ball 20 to 25 times a game for us to be successful on offense.
Mike, we know that Kendall's a really quiet guy, but is it kind of a testament to his love of the game, the way he was out there, animated, emphatic out there, and obviously excelling out there as well?
Yeah, Dave asked me before if I thought Kendall played more physical in this game than he did 2 years ago at Washington State, and in my opinion, yes. The answer would be yes, because Kendall really likes to play football. Some guys at our level, surprisingly, to outsiders, you wouldn't realize that they play the game, but they don't really love to play the game. Kendall loves to play football, and it's important to him. And so when he didn't get the opportunity to do it last year, he's been very excited about playing again this year. And so that works to our favor, and it works to his favor. And I said this morning on the teleconference that I'm not afraid to say that if Kendall stays healthy, Kendall's going to play this game for a long time because he can make you miss, and he doesn't run his mouth. He plays football for the right reasons, and he's a tough guy. So he'll play for a long time.
Is that an indication, Mike, in how nicked up he was last year?
You know, you never really know because of an ankle injury. But I think you bring up a good point that we were getting a little frustrated through weeks 6, 7, and 8 because we thought he would come back. Our training staff was getting frustrated. Kendall was frustrated. And it must have been a more severe ankle injury than what we thought. It's hard to really diagnose a high ankle sprain. But he was out, 8 weeks, 9 weeks? So, hopefully he can stay healthy and have a great season. But I would say there's probably some truth to that. It must have been a more severe injury than what we thought.
Mike, I asked you this on the conference call. The so-called epidemic first weekend was poor tackling. At least that's what the people calling the games, pontificated on. Your thoughts on the way your team tackled and how hard it is in this day and age of college football, the way you have to operate to make sure your team does tackle?
Well, we talk about it each day in a staff meeting, how physical we want to be in practice throughout the week. When you have a young football team like we have, you'd like to practice for 3 hours a day and have live inside drill and scrimmage because we believe that's how you develop young players and develop a toughness within your football program. But we don't have the luxury of doing that right now, especially we're a little thin at the defensive tackle position and at the linebacker position. So we want to tackle enough to where we can prepare and play well and win the football game, but we don't want to do it so much that we don't have the guys out there on Saturday that give us the best chance. And we need to be healthy and as fresh as we can be in games 8 through 12, not just games 1 through 4.
How's Brandon's son, speaking of him?
He should be fine. He's got I don't know what the what you actually call a sprained thumb, but he should be fine. We expect him to practice tomorrow.